that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here, resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, just that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here to spark up your home and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimp for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing.
Y'all already know, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. You dig?
Attract the dough, like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them bag bitches pedal for them portions. My horse win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dope. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooking baths, not showers. Bright and early, down at 30 for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not whips, I'm like the renegade bitches. BFF switches, but never getting paid bitches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite. Blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they like get strike, they see pimpin' shining bright. But they action is life without bitch, will strike you out. Oh, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashin' for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock the dough. 10-footed and wooded in them doctor shows. Soft shit rituals, minute residuals, papers on life support. Your loot.
Yeah, get on up in here, man. Wipe your feet off at the door. Don't be tracking no bullshit up in here, man. Hit that like button before you come up in here.
That's not the one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless. Empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with empathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is be positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard. I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hold on. Can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, get it, man, pop that shit. Show me something, nigga.
Wipe your feet off at that door, man.
Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. Yeah. And to you hoes, if you ever took a lost bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach the paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga.
Come on, man. There's 60 of y'all in here, but only 42 of y'all wiped your feet off at the door, man. You know what I mean? That means 18 of y'all tracking some bullshit up in here, man. Go back to the door, wipe your feet off, step out the chat, hit that like button, come back to the chat so we can resume with this game. You dig? Hold on. Get my shit right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Welcome to Casa de Freeze, where we chop it and pop it with about this good game. You dig? Y'all already know, man. First order of business. We gotta put some love in our body, man. Feel good, man. I started my day off with a fresh bowl of fruit. That was pretty much my breakfast. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. You know, I like to eat fruit. I eat fruit on a regular basis, but I think I'm gonna make that my breakfast every morning from now on. A bowl of fruit. I had a bowl of fruit with that's how good the fruit was, because I'm not really a fan of cantaloupe and I'm not really a fan of honeydew. But even the cantaloupe and the honeydew in a bowl of fruit was just bomb. But I had blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, pineapples, honeydew, cantaloupe, and grapes. And that shit was bomb. You know, so happiness, health, and wealth to everybody in the chat and to your loved ones as well. Swallowed that shit all wrong. Oh, shit. Damn, excuse my pimping. Shit. Damn. Yeah, man, you know, it's an acquired thing. For most things, it's good for you, right? Like, most people aren't just naturally into the habit of drinking water. You know, that's something that you probably pick up along the way later on in life. You know, fortunately, my daughter, she loved drinking water. You know, my son, he liked drinking soda and juices and shit like that. He liked drinking water too, but my daughter, she just like me. She loved drinking water, and I don't know if she picked that up from me or if that's just the way she is. But yeah, I love that fact, right? But most people, when I was a kid, I liked drinking water too, but I love soda. You know, I like juice and shit too, but I really loved soda as a kid. Dr. Pepper and Coca-Cola, man. But that shit is terrible for you. But the things that taste the best usually are the worst for you health-wise. The things that feel the best oftentimes can be worse for you health-wise, right? You know, some of the best tasting foods out there that you can get a hold of, that you got access to, is oftentimes the worst thing for you health-wise. Tastes good as a motherfucker, but ain't good for your body. Alcohol feels good. Some people even think it tastes good. But one of the worst things that you could put in your body, especially on a regular basis. You know, they say it's good to have a glass of wine every so often. It's good for your heart, they say. But, you know, basically to be drinking alcohol every day ain't good. As good as it may make you feel. Drugs, you know, you name it. From the drugs that y'all call designer drugs to make yourself not feel like dope fiends and junkies. You know, the designer drugs, those ain't supposed to be the hard drugs, you know. But motherfuckers still die overdosing on designer drugs. Motherfuckers still die overdosing on pills. You know, they motherfuckers crush pills up and snort them. Motherfuckers is even smoking pills now. Like really lighting them, firing them up and smoking them. You know, and all of that shit makes you feel great. But it's some of the worst things that you could put into your body. It's one of the worst things that you could do to yourself, right? But it feels great. You know, the list goes on. It's a variety of things that feel good, taste good, sound good, but really it's the worst thing for you. And, you know, when it comes to this game, for the young ladies in the game, a lot of the shit that you do feels good right now. And it's a lot of fun. But it's the worst things that you could do for yourself. A lot of the shit that's popular to do, a lot of the shit that's trendy, you know, hey, that shit is the worst thing for you. Especially if you gonna call yourself being a hoe in the game. Right? Like, You know, as the thumbnail shows you, right? Hold on a second. As the thumbnail shows you, you know, it's real popular, especially on the West Coast, for hoes or prostitutes or what have you to get tattoos all over their face or just anywhere on their face, period. It feels good. And you know, other dumb bitches that do that shit and, you know, stupid ass niggas, they gonna make you feel good about that shit too. You know, they gonna make you feel good about that shit, but that's one of the worst things that you could do for yourself. Your face is one of the first things that people take notice to in most cases when they see you. Your face. And if you continue living, fortunately, you live long enough to feel the regret of getting tattoos all over your face. You know, there's just, you know, see, when you young and you don't have a lot of responsibilities and you don't have a lot going on in your life because you're so young and you haven't acquired certain things and you haven't reached certain points in your life, it's cute. But when you become grown and you start doing grown person shit, you start doing grown woman shit and involving yourself in grown woman situations, you come to regret that shit more and more. You know, that's why a lot of bitches, you know, this older with face tats, or maybe not even necessarily older, but bitches who come to realize how foolish that shit is. That's why a lot of times they put makeup over that shit to hide that shit. You dig? It's very unfortunate what happened to the young lady on that thumbnail of this video, which for those of y'all unfamiliar, that's she calls herself, she's better known as Pretty Hoe. I can just imagine how it was for Pretty Hoe going into the courtroom and facing that judge with all them damn tattoos on her face. You know, no matter how she pleads her case, no matter what she says to the judge, no matter what great things that she's got a history of doing, you know, she could have been a straight A student in school. You know, she could have been a humanitarian donating turkeys to the hood every year on Thanksgiving. You know, she could have been an interventionist, you know, helping at-risk youth. She could have been the first lady of the church. You know, she could have been, you know, a Girl Scout, whatever. At the end of the day, when she get to talking, she gonna go mute. The judge ain't gonna hear nothing. And if she was in trial, the jurors, they not gonna hear nothing. The DA is not gonna hear nothing. All they gonna hear is them loud ass tattoos on your face. The volume of them tattoos on your face is gonna be louder than anything coming out of your mouth and coming out of your attorney's mouth. So, you know, you could be like, that's what it's gonna sound like to the judge. You know what I mean? The judge is gonna be looking at them tattoos on your face, and you already guilty no matter what type of evidence is against you or not. In their mind, you guilty. You know? So that's just one example of how some shit that you thought was cute could you know, work towards your detriment in your future, right? Even if you like going to family functions and shit like that, you know, I could just imagine how somebody would feel like in front of their grandma or they, you know, they family members and they mama and shit like that, you know. Like, imagine how your mama feel when she bring you around people and introduce you to people like, yeah, this is my daughter, Jennifer. You know what I mean? Jennifer got all these motherfucking tattoos on her face. You know what I mean? With gang affiliation or whatever nigga, you know what I mean? That she probably don't even fuck with no more. Some nigga that she used to fuck with, you know, she still got his tattoos on her face. You know what I mean? That shit ain't like the nut that was on her face. See, the nut, you can wipe that off, you know, but you can't wipe that nigga's name off your face. You know, it ain't that easy. You dig? But yeah, you know, that's just something that could work towards your detriment. And then as a whole, right? See, as I've said before, whenever you involve yourself in something, you should want to be the best at it that you could possibly be. So you want to do everything in your favor. You want to make everything work for you, in favor of you, so that you can perform at your best, right? And just like in them other situations with tricks, there's certain tricks that's not even gonna entertain you. They're not even gonna think about fucking with you. You might be attractive, you know what I mean? You might have a nice body, cute face, nice smile, everything, right? But you gonna shoot yourself in the foot the moment the trick see them face tats. You know? It's just so much, it's just so many ways that you gonna kill your own action in the game with them face tats. You know, it just, you know, it's a bad look. You know, I can imagine how it is for a bitch in Las Vegas moving through them casinos with tattoos all over your face. You don't even fit in at the Win. See, if you a hoe, you should want to fit in at the Win. You should want to fit in at the Encore. You should want to fit in at the Venetian and the Palazzo. You should want to fit in at the Bellagio and the Cosmo. If you a hoe, you should want to be able to fit in at these places. You should want to look like you belong there. And if you fall into these places with tattoos all over your face, they immediately think in trouble. This bitch trouble. You know, that's going to be the first thing on their mind, trouble. See, what people don't understand is when it comes to certain environments, they going to let you make it if you a compliment to the environment, if you accent the environment, you know. But when you conflicting with the environment, when the way that you look is repulsive, make people want to get away from you, you automatically shooting yourself in the foot. You making things harder for yourself. So this is just an example of something that feels good, but one of the worst things for you. It feel good to get them tattoos on your face, I'm sure. And you think it's cute. But it's one of the worst things you could do, especially as a hoe in the game. See, in the game, you want to be marketable. Now, there's different ways that you can market yourself, but ultimately you should want to have mass appeal. You should want to appeal to all different types of individuals. You should want the majority of people to want you, right? And they say the number one rule to marketing is what? Making eyeballs move. Right? Now you're gonna make eyeballs move with them face tats, but you making them move for the wrong reasons. You should want to make eyeballs move in such a way where motherfuckers really want to have you. To where your conversation, you know, the job is already halfway done by the time you open your mouth. By the time you use your conversation, you should have already made things so much easier for yourself by your appearance. Because before you can speak with your mouth, you speak with your appearance. And you should want to speak the right things to a trick with your appearance. You know, you just got to think of it because, like, essentially what it is, it's like graffiti. When you put tattoos on your face, that's equivalent to putting graffiti on a wall, on the side of a house or on the side of a store in the neighborhood, right? Now, if you thinking about moving into a certain neighborhood and you on your way to the house that you thinking about moving into, but on the street that you potentially gonna be moving on your way to the street, the houses leading up to that street or the stores leading up to that street got graffiti all over the shit, and it say Wooty Woo Crip and da 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 Pyru and such 13 and criminal gang and this and that Bloods. If you see all that shit on the walls before you get to the house, immediately you're gonna be thinking, I don't want to live in no neighborhood like this. This is what's going on here. It's gang activity, and they putting graffiti all over the walls. Nah, I don't want to move here. I got my mind made up. Before you even get to the house, you don't even want to look at it now. Because you see these tattoos all over. I mean, you see this graffiti all over the walls. And them tattoos, they have the same effect. You know, a trick might see you from behind. And you got a nice body and shit, and the trick looking at your ass, and he looking at your legs and your hips and all this type of shit. And he like, damn, she look good as a motherfucker. Then you turn around and you got Blood Gang CK right here, you know what I mean? You got Baby Hop Out, Bounce Out Gang right here, you know what I mean? Like, that's your ex-folks, Baby Hop Out. You ain't even with Baby Hop Out no more. You ain't gave Baby Hop Out a trap in 5 months, but you got Baby Hop Out tatted right here. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. The trick, he might have been telling himself, like, if she do everything right, I'm finna give her $5,000 right now. But soon as he see Blood Gang CK and Baby Hop Out all over your face, it's over with. He on to the next. He ain't thinking about you no more. You just ruined his fantasy. He like, damn, man, why she got all these damn tattoos on her face? I can't even walk into my hotel. You know what I mean? He might be staying at the Wynn. And he might be there for a conference. And all of his colleagues is there with him in town, right? He can't walk into his hotel and some of his colleagues see him and he got this girl with tattoos all over his face. They gonna look at him like, what the fuck are you doing? See, you don't think about shit like that because you're not into the game. And I understand, because a lot of y'all's paying motherfuckers that ain't doing no pimping. You know, and it's hard to come across a motherfucker that's doing some pimping nowadays. Like I talked about yesterday, it's a lot of motherfuckers that are mastered by social media. So no matter how much pimping they got up in them, you know, they not operating in the spirit of pimping. They not their normal selves right now. So they not doing no pimping. So it's a high likelihood that if you a bitch in a game and you paying somebody, the somebody that you paying, he's doing very little to no pimping at all, right? So, and then not just that, but a lot of these motherfuckers be just happy to have a bitch. And they let the bitch do anything just so they don't blow the bitch, right? But, you know, a pimp is supposed to give you the game on why you shouldn't do certain things that's going to work towards your detriment. You know what I mean? And it's not going to work towards high increments of money. You know, pimp is supposed to be able to stop you and be like, hold on, girl, you know what I mean? You really don't want to do that, you know, because you reducing your potential, you reducing your potential immediately when you do that. Your value is going to plummet, you know, and motherfuckers is going to treat you any kind of way because of these tattoos on your face. You know, there's certain doors that you're not going to be able to get through. You know, even though this ain't got nothing to do with hoeing, right? And you know, this isn't something that a hoe should do, but the fact remains, right? When Anna Nicole Smith married that old man, you know, more than likely she wouldn't have been able to do that if she had, you know, Baby Hop Out and all this shit all over her face. The old man, he would have, you know, because immediately he thinking like, you know, it's already bad enough. People gonna be looking at him because he marrying this girl that's young enough to be his granddaughter, right? But to a certain extent, he don't give a fuck. And then at the same time, it's hard to argue with this motherfucker when this bitch is gorgeous. She's the prototypical bitch, you know, like if you like close your eyes and imagine your ideal bitch, you know what I mean? That's who you gonna see 9 times out of 10. Anna Nicole Smith was a gorgeous bitch. You know what I mean? That bitch was fine as a motherfucker. You know, it ain't really too much. You have to lose your marbles to turn down somebody like that, right? So that much of it makes perfect sense. But imagine how her value would have plummeted if she had motherfucking tattoos all over her face. She wouldn't have had nearly the action. You did? So, you know, again, that's just a prime example of something that feels good, but is one of the worst things for you. One of the worst things that you could do for yourself. It's 189 of y'all in here, man, but only 127 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door. Come on, man. Shame on y'all, man. Step back to the door. Step out the chat real quick. Hit that button that look like this. Come back to the chat, man. You know what I mean? So we can chop this good game, man. And of course, you know, purify yourself with this love. You know what I mean? Rinse all the hatred, all the negativity, all the bullshit. You know what I mean? All the foolishness, all the ignorance. You know what I mean? Out your body. Purify yourself with this love. You dig? But yeah, another thing that feels good that a lot of hoes love to do, and you know, I can't really fault you for it, but at the same time, I want to bring it to your attention because you might not understand how harmful it is for you or how counterproductive it is for you. I'll say that. Talking to all these different dudes that call themselves pimps, you know, being flattered by the fact that all these different dudes that call themselves pimps express to you one way or another that they want you. It's not in your best interest to entertain that shit. It might feel good to talk about all these different motherfuckers that's in your DM. It might feel good to play little games with them and belittle them. You know what I mean? A lot of bitches love, you know, making themselves look bigger by minimizing individuals that call themselves pimps. It do something to a bitch ego. I understand that, right? You know, when you got these motherfuckers that call themselves pimps in your DM talking about how bad they want to fuck you and all this other type of shit, I know what goes on, man. This shit ain't nothing new. This shit been going on. You know, motherfuckers doing all this unpimpish ass shit in the DM in the name of this game. You know, and again, you know, as a hoe, it might make you feel good. But that's one of the worst things that you could do for yourself. You know, because, you know, you gon' attract the attention of the majority, but the minority is really what matters. The minority of motherfuckers whose attention you don't get, that's the ones whose attention you should get. The ones whose attention ain't easy to get, that's whose attention you should want to get. Because those types of individuals are going to make you inclined to challenge yourself and be your best. Because the ideal pimp for you to want to fuck with, he's not moved by the shit that all of these motherfuckers that call themselves pimps are moved by. The ideal pimp for you to fuck with is not moved by that shit. You know, you coming at him, telling him what you're going to do, knowing damn well that you don't want to do that, you don't have no intentions on doing that shit. Yeah, certain motherfuckers that drive limousines and shit like that, you know what I mean? That might excite them, you know, for you to get on their line and talk about paying them. But to the ideal pimp, the pimp who's going to be an asset to you, the pimp who's going to amplify everything good inside you, the pimp who's going to make you your absolute best, that's not going to move him. You're not going to pique his interest like that. You know, your appearance and your words, that's going to attract most motherfuckers, yeah. You know, all the thirsty motherfuckers, that's going to attract them. Your appearance and your words is going to attract the average motherfucker. But the pimp that you want, he's not moved by your appearance and he's not moved by your words. He's moved by your actions. And that's who you should want. Again, entertaining all them thirsty motherfuckers that call themselves pimps, it feels good. You know what I mean? It's constantly stroking your ego. And every stroke of the ego feels better and better. You know what I mean? All the motherfuckers talking about they want to put their nose in your booty. All the motherfuckers that talking about they want to put their tongue on your clit. You know what I mean? All the motherfuckers that say they want to jump up and down in you. You know what I mean? All of them motherfuckers that, you know, keep telling you how good you look, and you know what I mean? You know, you show a little trap with like, you know, $400 in 20s, and you know, they bending over backwards. Oh, give it to me. Pass it to me, girl. You know what I mean? All that shit is a stroke at the ego. You dig? All that shit is making you feel good. But the pimp who you want, he is not moved by your $400 trap. He's not, that's not getting him excited about your hoeing. You know, it's sad because it's hard for you to step away from some shit that feels so good. I know how I feel, you know what I mean? I know that shit make you bitches feel good. You know, but you should want to be with somebody that's going to inspire you to be better. You should want to be with somebody that's going to have you in the mind frame of, I have to step my game up to get his attention. Because the majority of motherfuckers, you can be a straight bum. I'm talking about a real life bum. You could not have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You can be all the way fucked up, dusted and disgusted, right? But as long as you got a decent looking face and a decent little body or something that they find attractive, they thirsty asses is going to be getting at you left and right. But anybody who is worth being with, that's not going to get their interest. They're not going to look twice at you. They're going to keep going. And that's who you should want to be with. You should want to be with the motherfucker that it really takes something. It really takes something to get their attention. You know, that's who you should want to be with. You know, and of course, that's not always the most sensational. That doesn't always feel the best. And it's hard to pull yourself away from something that just comes to you. See, that shit that feel good, it just comes your way. You don't have to seek it out. You don't have to search for it. You don't have to reach for it. It just comes your way. All you got to do is be on social media and all the attention is going to come your way. All the thirsty niggas that call themselves pimps, They gonna come your way. You don't have to call them. You don't have to get their, like, you gonna get their attention by default, right? But that's not who you want, though. That's not who you want. And see, I know it's a lot of y'all who probably want some pimping in your life, right? It's a lot of bitches out there, I'm pretty sure they want some pimping in their life, right? But you get to a point where, because these are the only types of motherfuckers that call themselves pimps that you interact with, that you deal with, that you see on a regular basis, you know, you'll start to feed this idea in your mind that this is what pimps are, and this is how pimps conduct themselves. But that's not what pimps are. That motherfucker that you going live with, that's getting on your live, that's not pimping. That motherfucker that's sitting up gossiping with you about different bitches and different motherfuckers in the game, that's not pimping. That motherfucker that gets on your live and he allows you to dictate the conversation and he allows you to shush him and he waits for you to give him permission before he speaks, that's not pimping. That's not what you want. You shouldn't even waste your time with that. I know it feels good. It do something for your ego, but it's not going to get you anywhere in life. It is only going to hold you back. And I know it feels good, but you're not going to be young forever. So you should want to make the most of your time while gravity is still in your favor. Time is on your side. You know what I mean? You should want to do everything in your power to make the most happen while gravity and time is in your favor. Because when so many years pass and gravity stop fucking with you and shit start hanging down, shit start sagging, shit ain't sitting up the way it used to, you know, and you're not that young, vibrant hoe that you was, you're going to look back like, damn, I wasted a lot of time being live with these niggas that didn't have no game, that was just thirsty and didn't want to do no pimping, and all they really was thinking about is fucking on me. The same niggas did be wanting snitch bitches. The same bitches did be trying to have minors. The same niggas that just ain't got no standards. Why was I live with them? Why was I spending all this time doing that? See, you young right now, so you don't really have no foresight. Talk to some of them old bitches though, you know? Because even though it's a lot of them wrapped up in the shit too, you know, they've been around for a while. So if you say certain things to them, they might snap it to reality and come to their senses and be like, damn, that's some real shit. Because you got old bitches that sit up and go live with niggas all motherfucking day. Old bitches in their 30s and 40s. And see, for them, it should just be nothing but a word. Like, bitch, what the fuck is you doing? Because you done been around. See, the young hoe, she ain't really been through much yet. So, again, her foresight ain't gonna be the same. But for them bitches in their 30s and 40s, like, what the fuck is you doing? You supposed to be performing on a level like never before. You supposed to be setting an example to the young hoes on what a hoe's supposed to be. But instead of them looking to you as what they supposed to be, you fucking with them and trying to be like them. You got old bitches trying to be like these young bitches that's lost. Because y'all old asses want attention so bad. You want the same type of attention that these young bitches is getting. But wake up. Snap out that shit. Wake up. They not getting nowhere. You know what it's like to be that young lost bitch. Why you still that old lost bitch? Snap out of it. You should know how to get some money by now if you in your 30s and 40s. If you ain't figured that part out, then you need to go do something else. But if you know how to get some money right now, and you should definitely know how to identify some pimping. See, them young bitches, that shit fun to them. Playing with motherfuckers that call themselves pimps, playing with their time, playing in the DM, all that shit. It's fun to a young bitch. But if you in your 30s and 40s, what the fuck are you doing? Playing with motherfuckers in their DM. Playing on motherfuckers' lines. Acting like you gonna give a motherfucker some money you know damn well you ain't got. Not that you can't get it, but you're not inclined to get it. Because this motherfucker is letting you play with him. What the fuck are you doing? The young bitches should be looking at you like she got her shit together. You know what I mean? I see her, she don't be entertaining conversations with all the different motherfuckers that call themselves pimps. She ain't going live with a bunch of pimps. She ain't even going live where it's pimps in the comment section and responding to comments from pimps. She don't even do that. Because you got a lot of bitches that think they slick. You know, you got bitches that got folks that think they being slick because they not in the box with another pimp, but they responding to pimps' comments though. They engaging in comments. They engaging in conversation with pimps in the comment section. Or they watching a pimp that's live and they in the comment section. Either way it go, bitch, you out of pocket. You out of pocket. And again, that shit feels good, but it's not doing anything for you. It's not doing anything for you. See, the mind is a beautiful thing, right? This motherfucker is powerful. You don't even know how powerful this thing is, right? That you got between your ears, bitch. This motherfucker right here is so cold. You don't even know the type of shit that you could be doing with this thing if you was just so inclined. And I know it's hard because you don't have no pimping in your life to guide you. You got a motherfucker that you might be paying, or you got a motherfucker that you playing with, but you don't have nobody in your life to guide you to maximize this motherfucker right here. And see, it's so cold, right? That things that you might not necessarily think feel good right now, this thing right here can condition you to make those things feel good, right? Prime example, myself, man, I love going to the gym. I done been that motherfucker before that didn't like, didn't like the feeling or the pain of working out. But guess what though? This motherfucker right here, I've conditioned myself to take something that I didn't really like initially, and now I love that shit. I love the pain. I love the pain because it equals growth for me. I can't have the growth without the pain. So guess what? If I love the growth, I love the pain too. You know what I mean? You got to take the bitter with the sweet. You dig? And it's all about perspective. If you have the right perspective, then you could love the bitter shit too when it comes to this game. You know, I love knocking hoes. So guess what? I love getting knocked too, though. Yeah, I love that shit. I love getting knocked because, as I say, with every hoe that blow, the pimping get greater. So if I get knocked for a bitch, then my pimping just got that much greater. I'm that much closer to greatness. I'm a step closer to becoming a greater motherfucker than I was yesterday. So yeah, I love the sweet part, but I love the bitter part too, though, because it all amounts to me being a greater pimp. You dig? So, as a hoe, you know, it might not necessarily, especially in the beginning, it might not feel good to challenge yourself in certain ways and step your horn up in certain ways, right? It's some pain involved, right? It's some discomfort involved to challenge yourself in certain ways, right? But when the growth comes, when you get them results, you come to love challenges because you know that challenge equals growth. That pain equals growth. That discomfort equals growth. So guess what? It's certain bitches, right? It's certain bitches that are excellent on the track. You know what I mean? They tear it up on the track. They have $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 nights on the blade, right? But they really, really, really want to be that conversationalist. They really, really want to be that bitch to seduce tricks for thousands of dollars at a time, right? And they know that they got to step their conversation up and arm themselves with some game. They know they got to step their tools up, right? And there's learning that's involved in that. You have to acquire certain knowledge. Then you have to go through certain experiences. You have to go through certain trials and errors. You have to go through certain challenges, right? And certain bitches shy away from that because of the discomfort in it. So they go back to their comfort zone. And in their comfort zone, they might be one of the greatest. But you know, they say in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So yeah, you cool, bitch, with your one eye around all these other blind bitches. But guess what, bitch? You supposed to be using both of your eyes. Use both of them motherfuckers. Yeah, you got both of them, but you only using one of them, though. Because it's painful to use both of them. It's uncomfortable to use both of them. It's a challenge to use both of them. Don't be afraid of that challenge. See, like I said, the mind is a beautiful thing. You can condition yourself to become accustomed to the pain, accustomed to the discomfort, accustomed to the challenge. You can condition yourself mentally to love that shit because you know what it means. You know that pain, that discomfort, that challenge, you know that means growth. And you know that means you becoming a greater hoe. So you're not afraid of that shit. You're going to face it head on. You're going to rise to the occasion. You're going to step it up. You dig? Because back to you being, you know, great on the track or great in the strip club or great on the internet or whatever, you know, that's cool. It feels good. And it's not necessarily the worst thing for you, but there's better things out there for you and you know it. But you scared of the challenge. You scared of the discomfort. You scared of the pain. It's not going to kill you. Let me be the first one to tell you it's not going to kill you to challenge yourself. It's not going to kill you to become uncomfortable. It's not going to kill you to experience some pain. What you need to do is learn how to find comfort in discomfort. Learn how to find comfort in discomfort. It's there. It's possible. You could do it. You just got to be inclined mentally to do it. You know, don't let the pain, the discomfort, the challenge, Don't let that shit be such a big, tall, insurmountable brick wall that you can't see what's on the other side of that brick wall. See, that's what it is. Bitches see certain challenges, like fucking with a high caliber pimp. You see certain challenges and you see the brick wall that's in front of you. And you get so wrapped up in this wall that you don't think about, one, the fact that you can get past this wall, and then two, what's on the other side of that wall. Once you get past that wall, what do you stand to gain? What do you have to gain on the other side of that wall? See, it's easy to fuck with a motherfucker that is gonna take you broke, a motherfucker that's gonna buy you a plane ticket when you ain't got no money. You way on the other side of the country, he gonna buy you a ticket to get over here, and then when you get over here, he gonna fuck on you, he gonna smoke with you, he gonna drink with you, he gonna eat with you, and you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to earn any of that. See, that shit feels good, right? But you know what feels even better for a hoe? The challenge of getting in the door with a motherfucker who you have to have your fee together before you even come over there. He's not even gonna talk to you unless you got the fee, let alone accept it. It's a whole nother thing to accept your fee. But he's not even gonna talk to you if you don't have your fee. Then once you got the fee, he's gonna talk with you about whether or not you fit in, whether or not you gonna be accepted, right? Then when you get over there, he's not moved by your pussy. He don't even smoke or drink, so he's not gonna do that with you. You know what I mean? But he gonna pray with you though. He gonna read with you. He gonna take you out and show you the lay of the land and how you gonna conquer that motherfucker. He gonna show you some different shit. He's gonna lace you. He's gonna educate you. He's gonna build you up and make you strong. And if you got any vices that are the master of you, he's gonna show you how to be the master of it and be the master of yourself. A reflection of him. Yeah, that shit ain't easy. See, these are the type of motherfuckers that you don't talk about because it feels good to talk about all the thirsty niggas who can't wait to buy you a plane ticket, get you over there, fuck on you, smoke, drink, eat with you, all that type of shit, and ain't even sent you out the door. You know what I mean? They gonna lay in the bed, Netflix, and chill with you. Yeah. And you got your pick among them. So, yeah, it feel good. It's easy to talk about them and say how much of a pimp they not and all that type of shit. But what about that motherfucker over there whose DM you got in and he left you on red? And you know why he left you on red. Because you see his hoes, you know what I mean? And you see how they moving and how they conduct themselves and what they got going on. And you know you don't make the cut. You can make the cut if you rise to the occasion, but right now you don't make the cut because you lazy and you scared. Yeah, you ain't talking about that motherfucker, but you know he exists though. You know he exists. You know he's out there. And what you need to do is step your horn up and get with that motherfucker. Hey, listen, man, it's 290 of y'all up in here, but only 233 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door, man. What's up with y'all, man? Get your shit together, man, and put some of this love shit in your body. Purify yourself one time. You ain't gonna be young forever. Again, that shit feel good playing with motherfuckers that call themselves pimps, but it's the worst thing for you. See, a lot of these dudes are real easy to maintain. A lot of these dudes are low maintenance motherfuckers, right? They low maintenance. You know, a lot of these motherfuckers, if you come in empty-handed, it's cool. They not gonna talk to you about your night. They not gonna try to figure out why you came in empty-handed. They not gonna challenge you and get you to stay down until you come in with something. You know, if you go 30 days in a row and your best night out of them 30 days is $500, a lot of these dudes ain't gonna have a problem with that. A lot of these dudes is gonna be cool with that. And at the same time that you having these days with twos and fews and a lot of goose eggs, a lot of $0 days, you know what I mean? At the same time, they taking you shopping. You might have made nothing before, and the next day, this motherfucker taking you shopping. He taking you to get that $800 wig, that $800 lace front. You know what I mean? He taking you to get outfits and all this old type of shit, right? It feels good, but that's the most harmful thing that can be done to your hoeing, is to make you comfortable in mediocrity. The worst thing that a motherfucker that's breaking on you and sending you can do for you is make you accustomed to being mediocre. See, the type of hoe that you should want to be is, you know, I know last night I didn't have the greatest night. I only made $700. But you know, tomorrow night, if I make over 1,000, you think I could go get my nails done? That's who you should want to be. Because that's somebody who done been pimped on to the point where you challenge yourself. Pimping ain't even got to say nothing to you. Pimping ain't even got to say, well, how about you go out there and make $1,000 tonight, and then if you do, we'll go get your nails done. No, you putting that on yourself because you've been pimped on accordingly. Like, you know, I know it's the weekend, and I know last night I only made $200, but you know, tonight, if I have a good night, you think I could buy an outfit for Saturday night? That's the type of hoe that you should want to be. You shouldn't be comfortable spending money that you didn't make. It feels good, but it's the worst thing that can be done for your hoeing. And you know, the cold part about it, if you have a good track record with the pimping of hoeing accordingly, and hoeing accordingly entails more than just getting some money, but you ain't been giving the pimping no drama. You ain't been making life hard for the pimping. You know, y'all been constructive and progressive together. Y'all been happy, healthy, and wealthy together. 9 times out of 10, when you banked up in the pimping's emotional bank account, you know what I mean? You making deposits after deposit on a regular basis. You know what I mean? And those deposits aren't just in the form of money. You know? A deposit is something like what I just said. You know, when a hoe come to a pimp and be like, you know, I didn't have a good night last night, but if I have a good night tonight, could I go do X, Y, Z tomorrow? That's a deposit with a pimp. You making a deposit in his account with in his trust account with him. You know what I mean? He's trusting you that much more when you make them type of deposits. So if you way banked up and you not in the red with the pimping, you not in the negative, when you do things like that, 9 times out of 10, pimping gonna bless you. Be like, bitch, I know you're gonna have a good night tonight. Here, go get that outfit you want. Go do that right now, you know what I mean? Or here, go get your nails done, bitch. It's Friday. You got to get your nails done. Go get your nails done. You know what I mean? That's what a pimp who's pimping accordingly is going to do with a hoe that's hoeing accordingly. And that's the type of hoe that you should want to be. See, that bitch who the nigga gonna take shopping when you ain't made nothing the night before, you not gonna get far with nobody like that. You're not gonna accomplish much with anybody like that. And you as a hoe and as a woman, you not gonna get better like that. You gonna stay mediocre. And when you leave the situation, not only are you going to leave with nothing as far as materials and money go, but you're going to leave with nothing as a woman. You didn't become a better woman and a better hoe after that. See, when a hoe been pimped on accordingly, you might leave with some material shit. You might leave with some clothes or jewelry or a car or a crib or whatever. You know what I mean? But more importantly than that, you're going to leave a better hoe. You're going to leave a better woman. And that's what you should want as a hoe. You should want somebody who's going to give that to you. Not somebody who's going to coddle you and, pacify your weaknesses and all that type of shit. That's going to let you, that's cool with you being a weak bitch because they's a weak ass nigga. You know what I mean? You shouldn't want to be with nobody like that. See, a strong pimp, a weak bitch ain't gonna last. She might slip through the cracks sometimes, but she not gonna last. She not gonna have no longevity with a strong pimp. A weak bitch ain't. Nah. You shouldn't want to be a weak bitch. You shouldn't be comfortable with a motherfucker that's enabling you to be a weak ass bitch. Who's not amplifying you in any way. Who's not figuring out what good qualities you got about yourself and then amplifying that. You should want to be with somebody that's going to make you great. Seriously. A lot of that shit, man. A lot of that shit that a lot of these dudes be doing, man, that it strokes your ego. It feels good. I know it does. But the cold part about it, all of this shit goes hand in hand. You should want to be the type of hoe that weak niggas know that they don't even deserve. See, you got certain hoes out there that weak niggas that call themselves pimps but ain't got no pimping with them. They know they don't even deserve that bitch. It's a hoe right now somewhere that I don't even know exists. But I guarantee you, it's a hoe somewhere right now that's a money-getting ass bitch. And she's in the gym going hard every motherfucking day. She don't smoke. She don't drink. She's responsible. She got her credit in order. You know what I mean? And she got a bankroll. And, if she fucking with some pimping, she paying the fuck out of him. But whatever the case may be, it's a bitch somewhere like that right now. And these average motherfuckers that call themselves pimps, they don't even feel worthy. They feel inferior. Because, see, that's a whole nother conversation. But I know from experience, I done been around motherfuckers that get intimidated by certain bitches. I don't know what that shit feel like. I don't know what it feels like to be intimidated by a bitch. I just don't. You know what I mean? I could be, in my gym clothes like I am right now. And, a bitch could be, at her best or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to feel intimidated by no bitch because I know what's in me. But you got certain motherfuckers, like I said, that feel intimidated by bitches. And those are not pimps. Those are just motherfuckers that say they're pimps. And that's the type of bitch that you should want to be. You should want to be the type of hoe that repels weak niggas that say they pimps but don't display no pimping. You should want to repel the motherfuckers by the way that you present yourself, by the way that you conduct yourself, by the way that you move. You should be the type of bitch that weak niggas shouldn't even waste their time trying to get at. So what does that say about you? If you the type of bitch that weak niggas just always getting at, that weak niggas can't wait to go live with and gossip with. What does that say about you? Do you ever think about how that makes you look as a hoe? You just a motherfucker that weak niggas think they got action at. Cause see, me, as a pimp, it's a lot of weak bitches. The majority of weak bitches don't like me. You know, but if they really think about it, they know they don't even deserve me. And it's not to toot my own horn, and it's not to make myself sound too good for anybody, but the majority of bitches eat bad food all the motherfucking time. They smoke too much to where they like passing out and all this type of shit. You know what I mean? A lot of these bitches got a closet addiction that they do their best to hide. You know what I mean? A lot of these bitches is doing pills in the closet. And they think that they fooling somebody, but they really not. You know, a lot of these bitches drink too damn much. They just got a lot of bad habits. And me, I'm the contrary. I got a lot of good habits. You know, so social media, it'll make an ain't shit bitch feel like she's too good to fuck with somebody like me. So you got certain bitches that'll talk shit about me on social media. Bitches that be eating bacon on the live. Can you imagine that? You know what I mean? Bitches that eat bacon on live. Acting like they too good for somebody like Freeze. Somebody who can't stand the smell of bacon. Somebody who might lose their appetite at the smell of bacon. Somebody who's finna go to the gym right after this live is over with. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine somebody who weighed probably 400 and something pounds? You know, irresponsible as a motherfucker, acting like they too good for me. This is what should let you know that social media is this is what should let you know that social media can come with so many problems. It makes motherfuckers delusional. And the reason why a bitch can be 400 and something pounds and eat bacon on live and eat burritos on live and all this type of shit, you know, the reason why somebody like that can get at me and treat me like somebody that they too good for is because you have all these thirsty ass niggas that make it look good and sound good, and they talk pimping, but they don't display pimping. But they coming at her like they pimping. See, a pimp don't even want that. A pimp don't want that. A real pimp that's doing some pimping and that's moved by the spirit of pimping and everything that he do, you not gonna fuck with no bitch that eat bacon on live. You not gonna fuck with no bitch that's eating burritos. I'm talking about big fat burritos and gonna finish the whole burrito before the live is over with. You know what I mean? Some shit that Some shit that the average grown man ain't gonna finish. This burrito is too big for a lot of grown men to finish in one sitting. This bitch gonna finish the whole burrito on live. A real pimp that's moved by the spirit of pimping, he's not even thinking about that. You know what I mean? You know? But you got motherfuckers entertaining this type of shit. You know? Motherfuckers that's eating buckets of skin, man. Man, a pimp don't want nobody that's eating buckets of skin, man. 2 buckets of skin? No meat. No meat. No meat. 2 buckets of skin, man. Like, nah. Nah. You know what I mean? Anybody who who probably will be cold, what they call that shit, mukbang? Anybody who will be cold at that mukbang shit, pimp ain't thinking about that. You know, but you got people that call themselves pimps that be telling this motherfucker they cute. I could just imagine the shit that's being said in the sexual conversations that's being said in this motherfucking in the DM. You know, I could just imagine all the sexual things being told to this motherfucker, right? You know, and this is the times that we in. You got motherfuckers like that. Again, see, people forget about when they was pimping outside and it wasn't no social media. You know, a big old bitch like that, you not thinking twice about, especially a big old broke bitch like that. Now, if she's a big old money getting bitch, you know, I just don't want nobody bigger than me, period. That's my rule. Like, I don't even want nobody close in size to me, but I'm not gonna have nobody bigger than me though. That's just me. But to each their own. Everybody don't have to pimp like me. But you know, that bitch might get her feelings hurt, but she should want to be with somebody, you know what I mean, that is gonna challenge her. And she gonna have to challenge herself like a motherfucker, like she never have before, before she can even think about fucking with a real pimp. Like, bitch, do you know the challenges that you gonna have to go through? See all these little thirsty, goofy ass niggas that's just eager to have any bitch that ain't got no standards. You know what I mean? They gonna make the bitch feel like something, but they not no good even for a bitch like that. Cause see, a real pimp, you know, not only is he gonna not be interested in a bitch like that just because of how she conducts herself and the types of things that she entertains, but see, a real pimp, he's concerned with his reputation, right? I was out not too long ago with a partner of mine, right? One of my little young partners. And this young man, you know, he looked like God reached out the sky, reached through the clouds from the heavens and just touched him. You know what I mean? And said, look good. You know what I mean? That's how he looked. You know what I mean? Like, if you was to look up the definition of, you know, the model image of a pimp, that's what he looked like, right? And, you know, we out campaigning together. And it's all different kind of bitches around. Some of them look cool. Some of them look dusty. And all in between, right? And he went and had a conversation with the ugliest, weakest, dustiest, like most terribly put together bitch. Like, he went in front of everybody and, you know, was popping it at this bitch, and they both smiling and talking and this, that, and the third. And after it was done, I had to pull him to the side and let him know, like, look, man, you got people watching you. You might have a badass bitch that got her shit together, that can't wait to break herself to a motherfucker she been stacking up for months. And she might got 50,000 or whatever, 100,000. And she can't wait to come across the right motherfucker to break herself to. And she see you, and she like, that motherfucker so fly. This man look like he got 30 badass bitches paying the fuck out of him. Bitches that look like they ain't never slobbered on a pillow, you know what I mean? Or had a booger ever in their life. This is what he looked like. So I had to let him know, like, man, you know, it's probably a badass bitch that's just been watching you. And you don't even think this bitch been looking twice at you. But to herself, she thinking like, you know, he might be the one. You know what I mean? I might ask him what it's going to take for us to have an interview so I can figure out if I'm going to break myself to him for this 100,000 or this 50,000 or whatever she got. You know what I mean? But I had to let him know, when you talk to a bitch like this who looked like she just rolled out the bed and came to work, you know what I mean? Because that's what the bitch looked like. She looked like she just woke up, rolled out of bed, didn't do nothing to her hair, didn't wash her face, brush her teeth, take a shower, nothing. She just looked like she woke up and came outside to try to get some money. And he just over there chopping it up with this bitch in front of everybody. I had to let him know, like, man, you ruining your image. You ruining your reputation. You know, motherfuckers see you way up here just by the way that you present yourself. But the way that you conduct yourself brings you all the way down here. You got to be mindful of that type of shit. So again, I say all of that to say, you know, you got motherfuckers that call themselves pimps that be just trying to have anybody. Because social media, the climate on social media has made everybody comfortable with that. It's made everybody comfortable just getting at anybody. Oh, you a hoe? Come on. Oh, you say you a hoe? You say you get down? Come on. Nah. See, pimping is supposed to have a standard. Pimping is supposed to be like the NBA. You know, pimping should be, you know, scouting for the best. The NBA ain't finna take no short, fat, sloppy, you know, eating any kind of food, lazy, ain't working out, ain't working on his game, ain't trying to be a better athlete. NBA ain't just taking any old body. Can you imagine Mark Cuban going to the liquor store on Fig and he see a motherfucker in front of the store begging for change and they fat and you know, trying to buy a ice cold beer, and Mark Cuban like, you know what? Have you ever thought about playing for the Mavericks? Yeah, come on, we gonna bring you down and we gonna have a tryout for you. You know what I mean? You know, and if you show up 9 times out of 10, you know, you gonna get signed. I want you to play for the Mavericks. No, hell no. You know what I mean? You got thousands of players all over the world. You got millions of players all over the world who are diehard basketball players. You know what I mean? They would love the opportunity to play in the NBA. And you got some excellent motherfuckers that's not gonna make it. This is how hoes should see the pimping. Hoes should see the pimping as an opportunity to perform on the highest level, to be a part of greatness. That's how hoes supposed to see the pimping. But the way that the motherfuckers that call themselves pimps be moving and just trying to have anything, you know. See, people don't, man. And see, fuck it, man. fuck it. I'ma just say it, right? Okay. The little motherfucker that was on Soft White Underbelly, right? You know, and I'm not talking bad about him. I'm not saying that he's less of anything, and I'm not saying anything, you know, bad about the boy, right? I'm just calling a spade a spade. Just calling a spade, right? The little nigga Mac Rooster, right? Okay. See, when he did the interview on Soft White Underbelly, he presented him, his presentation was cool, right? I'm already knowing certain bitches is looking at him and they probably finding him attractive, right? And, you know, his interview was cool. It wasn't the worst. I'll say that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of motherfuckers that call themselves pimps that had a worse interview than Mac Rooster, right? So I'll say his interview was fair. You know, the way he presented himself was cool. The way he popped it on there was fair. But what he did was put himself in front of millions of people, and a lot of hoes in the game probably looked at him on a certain pedestal, right? You know, they probably had certain expectations of Mac Rooster. I guarantee you that when that video came out, it was a badass bitch somewhere in some state somewhere that he ain't never heard of, don't even know she exists. I guarantee you it was a badass bitch somewhere that was thinking to themselves like, I need to find him. I want to fuck with him. I'm talking about a gorgeous bitch that got her shit together. I guarantee you. Because that level of exposure is too great. It was put in front of too many people. So I guarantee you that there was at least one. Chances are it was several though. Badass bitches somewhere in the world that told themselves, I want to fuck with him, right? But see, when you govern by the spirit of pimping, when you move by the spirit of pimping, when you operate within the spirit of pimping at all times, right? You know, you are naturally going to be what this hoe wants. This badass bitch, you're not going to disappoint her if she was to come your way. Right? She don't know that. But if you being led by the spirit of pimping, you're going to be everything she want and more, right? But as time progressed, time let us know what we know now. What we know now is that young man, he's not led by the spirit of pimping. It's not to say that the spirit of pimping ain't there. It's not to say that it's not in him. But he's not led by the spirit of pimping. He doesn't operate within the spirit of pimping. Right? So it's safe to say that if a badass bitch that I'm speaking of hypothetically was to come to him, he would have disappointed her. I'm going to give you the main reason why I say this. You know, Sinful roasted him, and he talked about the fat ass bitch, the same bitch that I'm talking about that be eating bacon and burritos and shit on live. Right? He was dealing with this bitch. He had this bitch on his line. He gave her the impression that she could fuck with him. He's not thinking about himself as Mac Rooster, the pimp that everybody saw on Soft White Underbelly. No. He's seeing himself as, you know, just regular old rooster, you know. Just saying he a pimp, but he don't even really, he don't really believe it like that. Because if he believed it like that, he wouldn't even be thinking about no bitch like that. I can just imagine what types of bitches done been in his DM. Then again, as time reveals certain things, he probably feels intimidated by certain bitches. He probably done had certain bitches in his DM that he didn't even know what to say to. Because he looking at the appearance of this bitch and like, damn. You know what I mean? See, motherfuckers make it look good and sound good, man, but behind the scenes, man, you'll see some shit if DMs could talk, if walls could talk. You know what I mean? And you can't make me believe that you the type of motherfucker that knows what to say and got the right things to say to a gorgeous ass bitch that got her shit together when you talking to motherfuckers that's 3 times your size. No, you don't believe it like that. When you talking to somebody that's 3 times your size, you don't believe you the greatest thing. You don't believe you the prize. You don't believe you a king. You don't believe you a boss or any of that type of shit. Not when you talking to a motherfucker like this. No. You can get on camera and say what you want. You can go live and say what you want. But when the cameras is off and ain't nobody around and it's just you dealing with yourself, you know you don't believe that. You know what I mean? And it's sad. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. You know, like it's just disappointing, man. But I say all of that to say, you have Mac Rooster, the pimp, who was on Soft White Underbelly that everybody is looking at a certain way. And you got this 400, 500, however many pounds bitch that eats bacon on live and eats burritos on live, who probably ain't got $1,000 to save her life right now. You know what I mean? Who ain't got shit going on, who probably got terrible credit, you know what I mean? Who probably got all kind of underlying health conditions that she don't even know about. Because I don't give a fuck what nobody say, the human body is not designed to carry that much weight. It's not. So if you don't have them health problems now, if you don't have high blood pressure, diabetes, gout, you know what I mean, hypertension, if you don't have them problems now, they on the way. They coming for you. If you keep that up. You know what I mean? But you have a bitch like this, who somebody like Mac Rooster was entertaining. He entertained that girl and made her believe that she had action. Seriously. There should have never been no interaction between them two. Never. She should have never had the impression that she could fuck with somebody like that. Never. But because she's given the impression that she can fuck with somebody like that, it makes her believe that she could, you know what I mean, belittle pimps, talk to pimps any kind of way, treat pimps any kind of way. Somebody like that should have it affirmed and reaffirmed and reaffirmed in her mind that it is impossible for her to fuck with a pimp, coming as she is right now. She should have firmly fixed in her mind that there is not a gentleman in the game on the planet that she could have action at. She should know that. She should know that even if a pimp is leaking, if he all the way fucked up, he ain't got no bitch, he ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. She should know that she can't even have action at a pimp like that. She should have it in her mind when she hears the term pimp, she instantly thinks of, oh, that's something that I can't have. A pimp, I don't qualify to have a pimp. Oh, but he over there fucked up. He ain't got, oh, I don't qualify to have a pimp. If he's a pimp, I can't have him. That's what her thought process should be. But you got all these different motherfuckers. You know, you got people like Mac Rooster. Then you probably got motherfuckers that got jewelry and cars, and, you know, they making it look real good on the gram. They counting money. You know what I mean? They got some decent looking bitches and all this type of shit, and they talking to that. You know? So just like she should have it firmly fixed in her mind that a pimp is something that she doesn't qualify for, she should also know that she has to step her game up dramatically in order to even think about qualifying to fuck with a pimp. You know what I mean? All that eating bacon on live, all that, you know, lazy, all that disrespect, all that talking crazy to the pimping, you know what I mean? Like, she got a long way to go. And she should know that in her mind. It ain't even just about the weight. It's about the way that she conducts herself, you know, and how disrespectful she is, and the list goes on, man. But the weight is definitely an issue too, though, because she's morbidly obese. She's obese to a point where it's dangerous. You know, but again, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and, you know, people, you know, they'll make you feel comfortable in your bullshit. But it got to take a lot of depression for a motherfucker to even get to that point. You know? See, people make shit look good on social media. You know what I mean? Instagram is like MAC makeup. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers put the cosmetics on and make shit look good. But when you step away from that camera, when you step away from that phone and it's just you dealing with yourself, that motherfucker know they going through something. But I say all of that to say, you know, a hoe shouldn't want to be that type of bitch. You should want to be the type of hoe that, again, you know you have to step your game up. You know you have to be on your A game to fuck with a pimp, because this is like making it to the major leagues. You should have that type of understanding. We're going to chop it and pop it for a few more minutes, man. And, you know, Pimp going to go ahead and wrap it up. Go ahead and put some of this good old love shit in your body. Purify your game one time. You need. The Mighty Bull, good looking with the $5 holla. New York City in the house. Dig that. Much appreciated. But yeah, man, you know, one thing I want people to understand too, about the boy Rooster, you know, I wasn't trying to say anything bad about him. I was just calling a spade, and, you know, saying how he should have seen himself and conducted himself versus how he seen himself and conducted himself in the way that he shouldn't have. That didn't have nothing to do with no pimping. You know? And a big part of it might have to do with, you know, the company that you keep. Like I say over and over again, you are what you eat. You know, you got to nourish that spirit of pimping within you, man. You gotta have the right conversations with the right pimps. Like I've told y'all before, man, it's been times where, you know, partners that I got love for that I really be fucking with, man. You know, I'll be in a circle with them, and they, you know, the conversation starts to go in a direction that I'm not into. They start talking about different bitches that ain't shit, and, you know, talk about different niggas that ain't this and that. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? I want to have conversations with pimps that are constructive and progressive. You know, I don't want to be involved in senseless activities. And a lot of motherfuckers, the spirit of pimping is weak within you because you involved in senseless activities. And a lot of hoes, the spirit of hoeing is weak within you because you involved in senseless activities. You sit up and chop it up with bitches that ain't trying to do no hoeing. Bitches that think they done made it to the mountaintop just because they look good, but they didn't have to put in any work. You should want to be around hoes, having conversations with hoes, interacting with hoes that love putting work in, that love going hard, that love staying down, that love being consistent, that love being responsible, that love being a blessing to others. This is the type of hoes that you should be involving yourself with. And what you'll come to understand is those types of hoes don't have much time on their hands, which means you shouldn't have much time on your hands either. But on the rare occasion that you do have time, those are the types of ones that you should be trying to interact with. But you shouldn't have too much time on your hands. You know, failures is always available. So if you always available, then you need to reevaluate yourself. You need to reevaluate your life and how you moving. Because if you always available to be a failure with somebody and you know, encourage each other to get further and further into failure, there's something wrong with that. You need to reevaluate yourself. You know, you should want to have conversations with bitches that encourage fucking with some pimping. You should want to listen to music like Donna Cherry the Chop. You dig? Yeah, shout out to Donna Cherry the Chop, man, for popping some real hoeing on her music, man. Yeah, you should want to listen to hoes like that. You dig? But yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this shit up. As always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for commenting, sharing, liking. I appreciate you for subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the cash apps. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it, man. We're going to take it on out, finishing this love off right here. And before you go, if you didn't wipe your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, do so now. What I mean by that, hit that like button on your way out of here. Y'all already know, man, who it is and what it is. Freezes it. About to take my ass to the gym and get it in. If you are moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. I'll holla.